Honestly, not even going to address the absence, but today we're doing another music review. So today we are not continuing the DDR series from what I have been doing previously, although I do have intentions to get back to that. But there was another game that I felt like needed some spotlight because I was watching a video on the history of rhythm games, and yes, while the video was really well edited, I couldn't help but point out that a certain dead franchise had not been mentioned, which is why I'm here today, and that game is...
I have no idea who this is.
So what is Buster Groove and why do I think of something different when I hear that? So to make this easy, I'm just going to call it by its Western name, which is Buster Groove rather than Buster Move, because in the West we have something called Buster Move already. However, a rhythm game it is not. So Buster Move, the puzzle game, is very well known for having some of the strangest box art in probably the gaming industry.
What the hell? Oh my god!
But back to the video topic. Buster Groove is a franchise that has not had an entry since 2001. Released in Japan in January of 1998 and October and November for the West the same year, Buster Groove was developed by Metro and published by Enix and 989 Studios, with the arcade port being published by Atlas and Namco. I tried to find out if there was any more that Metro had released, and well, yes, they had released games. I think it's safe to say that their best series was the Buster Groove franchise. Buster Groove was one of the first rhythm games to really come out after the big success that Parappa the Rapper had. The game is essentially a 1v1 where the player with the highest score wins a song. Throughout the song you can throw out special moves to disorientate the opponent and attack them. From what I saw, Buster Groove did pretty well when it came to reviews, with it receiving a 4 out of 5 stars from Next Gen and a 91% from Hyper Magazine. But despite the acclaim that it received, Buster Groove 2 would not only not be released in Europe because, you know, fuck us I guess, but it also had a third game that was released for the PlayStation 2 in 2001, which most people have never heard of because one, it has a super generic name, that being Dance Summit 2001, and I just don't think it saw much popularity after 2. But for today's video we'll be focusing on the first one and then slowly make our way to Dance Summit. So for the few people that played this game, you might notice that the box art may be a little bit different to what you're used to, and yes, you are correct. Depending on where you are from, this game does have 3 different box arts. I believe the US and Japanese had the same exact one, but then the Japanese also received a special version of the game that came with disc promotions of the studio's other games and also behind the scene videos of the main track for Buster Groove 1.
98年1月28日、青空のナイフでデビューしました森永はつみです。よろしくお願いします。
I would love to get my hands on a better quality version of this video, but the game is so niche that I highly doubt anyone's been able to sort of upscale it like that. Then you had the arcade ports that it's almost hard to find any information or even footage on some of these. I was only really ever able to find footage of Buster Groove 2's arcade port, but nothing of Buster Groove 1. So I usually do my tier list by playing out the song for a little bit and then talking about my thoughts on it. I will still be doing that, but I'll also be giving a little bit about the character and any juicy information. So our first song is Too Bad by Chosen Effect, who is also known as Sweet Jody. I don't really have any strong opinions on this song. I do think it is essentially like the middle ground of the whole game. So I think what this song does really well is that it does a very good job of staying on theme with what Heat's dance style is, which is essentially like b-boy breakdancing. But like a lot of other songs in this game, I think some go for character and then some are just trying to sort of fit the dance style. I'd say my biggest issue with the song is that it's a lot of the same thing, and it also sounds like one of those "what do you hear" memes. I also don't really have any strong opinions about Heat as a character. I think the design is fine. I'm gonna put it in the B tier. I think it's a solid placement, and I just wish that the song went somewhere.
Playboy. All the people everywhere, everybody wants to hear my Playboy philosophy. 'Cause I look like stars when I'm smoking my cigar. They wanna be just like me. I know.
I'm not gonna lie, this song, I feel it so hard. The energy, the vibe, it's all there. So the natural Playboy was sung by Caleb James. I tried looking up on some more about him, but it's a little strange with there only being like one article. And then a Twitter that I'm not sure is his exactly, because when I click on the website, it's like a scam link and it hasn't really been active since like 2013. I feel like this is one of the better songs when it comes to not only the sound but also the characterization of just what the character is like. I think the most interesting thing about Hiro as a character is that he's probably the most censored in the whole Busta Groove franchise, mainly because in the Japanese version he always has the cigarette or cigar in his mouth, and that was removed from the Western versions. Despite all that, great vocals, and has been in other games such as Elite Beat Agents and Gitaru Man. I'm going to put this in S. It's pretty undeniable that this is definitely the star of the game, both the Japanese version and the English version. So Aozora no Knife was sung by Morinaga Hatsumi, and honestly not much can really be found about her. And now the English version, Busta Groove, was sung by Sharon Wolf, who is actually quite a big name in music. She's been pretty successful when it comes to music with hits like Sweet Like Chocolate and Straight From The Heart. And this is all coming from her website that she has up that looks like it hasn't been updated since 2005. But there's no doubt that the vocals on this are extremely powerful and to me just has more impact. And it's clear that this song really stuck with players as well, with there being countless covers on YouTube. Personally, my preference is on the English version. I just feel like it has more drama to it. So because I do feel that the English version is better, I'm going to put the English version in S and the Japanese version in A. I love hamburgers. from Rave Man featuring Chosen Effect. Honestly, I don't have a lot of words for this song. It's one of those where I do not like this song and I'm not putting this song on voluntarily. But it's not bad. I would say out of every song in the game, this does the best job of really giving a character. But everything involved with Hamm in general is kind of controversial. I know that I said Hiro is the most censored character in the entire series, but I'm sure just having Hamm in the game was just a little bit risky, especially after the first game, which is why he wasn't in the second. And so there were a lot of changes to this character. As you can see, the Japanese version has the standard anime big black lips sort of trope, the one that a lot of people consider like racially motivated. And apparently they made him Caucasian, but I don't think that part was true. And then you had his song, which was, for good reason, it needed to be censored.
Taste too much, can never stop that one. It's got the juicy taste, to put a smile on your face, McDonald's, Burger King, or any other place. I love to taste too much, can never stop that one. It's got the juicy taste, to put a smile on your face. Hamburger lovers, let me hear you say ho!
Don't you even try it. Let me take that and tell me what cheeseburger over me and my sexy man. You gotta be crazy, nigga. Don't you even try it. Let me take that and tell me what cheeseburger over me and my sexy man. You gotta be crazy.
I'm putting I Love Hamburgers in D, just because I think it's the weakest song out of the entire lineup.
Causing much mayhem, dropping drama. Radical rebel with the need to bomb her. Fake MC, then I hang 'em higher.
I Know, done by Donyal Renee and Caleb James. So it seems that Donyal Renee is still making music to this day. I really like the song and I really like the voice of the singer in it. And I also noticed that, well, I don't know what song came first, if it was Put My Faith in You by Uzile, but I know that beginning sample.
Causing much mayhem, dropping drama. Radical rebel with the need to bomb her. Fake MC, then I hang 'em higher. The mic is my time to pay the piper.
I would love to find out where a lot of these artists got these like first few samples, because they were everywhere in like the 90s rhythm games. All that aside, we do have a similar issue with Hamm's song, except this was not censored. According to Pinky's bio, she is a stripper, fortune teller, professional contract killer, and she does hair. Okay. I guess the song does a good job with characterization by covering like 2 out of the 3. But I think in general, Pinky is just a hard character to get everything from. But I would give I Know bottom of A. Dreams of the Sky, Sea and Rainbow by Akiko Sugawara and Ike Nelson, also known as DJ Ike. There's honestly not a lot of information I could gather about the 2 artists that worked on this. Honestly, I think the song's pretty strong for what it is. I think the song is solid, but doesn't really do a lot to really represent Frida necessarily. I'm going to put this song in the top of A. Power, sung by Chosen Effect. Now, I think Power is one of those songs where it's very hit or miss. I think it's going to be good for some people and not good for others. I like the beginning with the backing vocals and I like where the chorus goes, but I do not like where it ends with the whole too bad thing. The sound of the song is giving me a little bit Michael Jackson, and this song was also censored. Strike himself was changed so that in the Japanese version he actually pulled out a flask, but in every other version of the game he pulled out a can of soda. Also, even in like the official lyrics it says that this is Michael Jackson, and part of me just wants to believe that it is because he was doing a lot of work with video games at the time. I'm gonna give Power a C. I think Power does a good job of giving us a little bit of characterization for Strike, but other than that, I'm not a huge fan of the song as a whole. So we have Waratepon by Ringa Genga, and honestly I could not find a single thing about this artist at all. I do think the song is fine, and that is the best way to really go about it. I think this version of the song really played into the character of Shorty. Because the singer's voice is so high pitched, it is a little hard to listen to. Then we have the English version, which is Shorty and the Easy Mouse, and this was sung by Crystal K. And Crystal K seems to have quite a bit about her in her Wikipedia, especially since she has been able to work with M-Flow, if anyone remembers my previous third mix, and Boa. Now, I do think this did a similar thing to the Japanese version where it really played into Shorty as a character more than anything. And I feel like it was more effective, or the voice was more effective for this version. But I do think it's just slightly better. And the song itself is going to stay roughly in the same tier. I'm going to put them both in B. Now we have Capoeira, that was sung by Dawn Moore. Now I tried to find out a little bit more about Dawn Moore, but it was very hard to without there being any direct links, and I assume that this name was pretty common to the point where when I typed it in I just wasn't going to find the right one. I did find one recording studio session which sounded like her, which was done in 2016. Personally, this version does not do it for me. I do not like this version of this song, and I can't really put what it is that really puts me off from the English version. That doesn't mean you cannot like this song, it just means I don't like this song. Then we have the Japanese version, Uasa no Capoeira, which was sung by Rui Tsurumizu. And like I was saying before, I think this is the much better version of this. I think the vocals are a better fit for the sound. I don't know, I'm a little confused with the direction of the music for Capoeira exactly. Like, I understand that they really leaned into the theme of the dance style for this one, but in terms of character wise, it doesn't really do anything. But yes, I do think the Japanese version is that much better than the English version. So I'm going to give the English version a C, and I'm going to give the Japanese version a B. Chemical Love by Caleb James and Shay. Now, I think Chemical Love is one of those songs that I think it's a hit or miss, but I think the people who like it love it, and the people who don't like it don't care for it at all. I am one of the people who really loves this song. I'm well aware that I said songs like Too Bad were like repetitive, but to me this gives me just enough of a little bit of difference between each part for me to appreciate it more. And it doesn't start off being the same throughout the entire thing like Too Bad was for me. And I also think Gasso as a character was an interesting choice to go for something like this, but I love the lyrics for it. Now the entire premise of the character and the story of the character is a little dark, and we will be going into that in the second video because it really is of no importance, this game. I am giving Chemical Love S. Transform. Now, unlike the other songs, I'm gonna have to really go between these two because usually I give you a little bit of time to listen to those songs because you have the rap in the beginning, and the biggest difference is in the female vocals, in which the Japanese one was done by Atsuko Yamaoka and Robbie Danzy for the English one. I think this song is undoubtedly carried by the way it sounds. The instrumental is like completely something else compared to some of the other songs in this game. While I do like both versions, I do think that the English version carries because of just the vocal performance. But let me tell you, the design of Kelly in this game, absolutely, I cannot stand it. It just, every time I look at it, I always think about one thing.
I'm a little baby.
No, you're a full-grown man.
I'm a baby. I have no money.
I'm going to give the Japanese version of Transform A and the English version of Transform S. Flyin to Your Soul, sung by Donna Burke. So Donna Burke has actually done quite a bit of work within Japanese media, from doing voices in anime and other video games. as well as doing multiple Japanese TV commercials. But her voice easily carries this song as well. I mean, the song by itself is really good in just the instrumental, but with Donna on top of it, not to mention it kind of just is the perfect song to sort of end this series. It sort of has that intensity to it. As for Robo-Z, the character itself, there's not really anything there. I'm putting Flyin to Your Soul in S. I cannot believe that we just went through all that. Either way, I thought this was really fun, and I hope that I got to introduce a stupid game to you guys. Bye.